What is up, my Squirtleites? It is I, your king, welcoming you back to more Let's Play Pokemon Black and White 2. In the last episode, we made it here to the Castelia sewers, where, alongside Hugh, we tracked down those Team Plasma Grunts that had run off hiding, and were able to defeat them and chase them off. Now, after getting the Strength HM, I was a little bit unsure of what I wanted to do with it, but I have come to a conclusion between episodes, and what I'm going to do is I am just going to teach it to Jack. That's right. We are just going to give the HM straight to him because I've decided I'm going to be doing something a little bit different with this Let's Play this time around. Something that I've never actually done before in any other Pokemon Let's Play, and is going to mostly negate the need for an HM-specific Pokemon. So I'm actually going to probably end up putting Nibbles in my PC here soon enough. Actually, before I fight you, I'm going to switch Tomoe to the front actually really quickly, just so I can get her some more experience, especially because she's not really going to get a lot of chances to shine in the gym here in Castelia, so definitely want to get her as much experience while I can. Anyway, yeah, doing something very different, so HMs are going to be much more evenly distributed. The only HMs that are going to be an exception are going to be things like Waterfall and Dive, which I still don't want to teach 3 water HMs to my water-type Pokemon, so that's not going to happen. Figured that makes a lot of sense, given that most people don't generally like doing that. But aside from that, you know, the big ones, Surf, Strength, Cut, I am going to end up just teaching those to absolutely everybody. So we will proceed onward with just our team of 2. But today, I believe we are going to be adding our 3rd team member, which is really exciting. And also, Tomoe is learning Fury Cutter, which I'm definitely going to get rid of Tail Whip for. Fury Cutter is an escalating damage move. It goes up in damage every single turn that it successfully lands. So first turn it's 20 base power, then 40, then 80, then 160, then 320, then I guess, yeah, I don't know if it actually doubles every single time, but it certainly gets stronger. So very, very strong move, very powerful move if you can keep it going on really any Pokemon that has it. I am probably just going to be using it in very niche situations, but it is still better to have than Tail Whip, which I absolutely never use under any circumstances. So there we go. Down goes Trubbish, and we have beaten Janitor Felix. I believe I already talked about the Pokemon that are here in Castelia Sewers in the last episode. If that is not the case, I am going to do so right this second as I grab this item and also re-implement my Repel here. And if that would be a really quick jump cut if I didn't do it in the last episode. But if I did, then we are all good, and then I can continue. It has been a couple of days since I recorded the last episode, so I am kind of forgetting on some fronts. But there's a few things that we can only access here in spring and summer. Mainly due to the water levels, you can only surf around this area a ton in spring and summer. In fall and winter, it is not nearly as accessible, so I wanted to point that out really quickly. We're going to just take on this Drillbur here, which should be a very easy get for Tomoe. I'm not really going to have any problems there. Now, you probably know that I have deliberately gone past and ignored a specific area. We're going to be backtracking there. I want to take care of all of the trainers and everything else in this area first. Now, obviously, this place is... Oh, I can't go that way because of the item there. So, yes, let's use a Repel there. Hold on, let's go around this direction, and maybe we can get over there. There we go. We got a doctor here. Now, yeah, like I said, there's no Pokemon Center, obviously, close by unless we go all the way out of the sewers. So this guy is here to heal us in that event. There are a couple of doctors all throughout the game that are willing to do this, and I believe nurses as well. So they're just kind of the traveling, or I guess impromptu Pokemon centers, which is nice. I mean, they not only heal HP and status effects, but they do also fill power points, which is good too. Also, Bug Bite. All right, interesting. I'm pretty sure you're packing a Grass-type move, Sawaddle, so I don't know why you would use that, but okay. And String Shot, which means that Sawaddle is probably going to go first on this turn. So hopefully I can kill it before it kills me. Hyper Potion. Well, let's see how much this Fury Cutter does if it lands. It has a 95% accuracy, so it can miss at times. It's kind of the one failsafe. And of course it wasn't enough to knock this thing out. Still going to get its Razor Leaf off, but we will be finishing it off here. I probably could have just used Tackle here as an extra precaution, but whatever. Really high power Fury Cutter. We'll take it. We're going to heal anyway here. And this is going to push Tomoe to level 21 as soon as I fight one more trainer, but I think that's it for the trainers in this area. There are other ones that you are supposed to be able to access, but again, only if you have access to Surf, which I do not. We get the Leftovers, which is an extremely powerful held item, one of the best in the game. I actually don't think I'm going to give it to Tomoe or Jack right now, though. Yeah, because Tomoe has the Mystic Water. I mean, maybe Leftovers would be good on her. But the Scope Lens on Jack is really, really strong, so I don't know if I'm going to bother with that one too much. Let's head on inside. And this lady right here, okay. Lots of toxins build up in the sewer system. I think I can use them to make medicine, so I'm running an experiment. If this works, I might be able to use the venom of poison-type Pokemon to make different medicines. How exciting. I don't know how that works, but okay. It's not the same kind. I mean, if you mean specifically from, like, Seviper or Ekans or things like that, sure. But if you're talking about, like, from Grimer, Muck, Weezing, I don't know how you're doing that. Anyway, the result of today's experiment was... Well, today's experiment could have gone better, but I did manage to make a potion. Here, you can have it. Okay, so that is the worst possible option. You can come back to this lady every single day and check and see how her experiment went. If it went poorly, she gives you a potion. If it went okay, she gives you a super potion. And if it went very well, she gives you a... I don't think it's a hyper potion, actually. Maybe it is. Maybe it is just a hyper potion. Elsewhere in the sewer, though, there is a male scientist that you can surf to that has the same experiments going on, and he will give you, like, status healing ones, like I think an antidote, a full heal, things of that nature. So if you want to go and track him down, but I think, is this room empty? I think this room is empty. Yes, it is empty. Maybe I should probably check the trash can, but I actually don't think there are any hidden items in the sewers. Gosh, I hit B there. Did not mean to freaking... Oh, son of a gun. Okay. Use that really quickly. There we go. Let's check. Trash can is empty. Okay. Well, all that for nothing. Anyway, I'm going to actually head back towards the entrance now, and we're going to go on up the stairs, and from there, we should be able to go into the last portion of the sewers that we can currently access, which is known as Castelia Park. And I was going to cut, but I'm basically right there anyway, so there's not really a point in me doing so. Okay, welcome to Castelia Park, everybody. This is just this little central area kind of sandwiched between all of these buildings, which, I mean, speaks volumes to how we treat natural areas in big cities. But, I mean, that's obviously the point here. But you just got this little tree. I think it's funny that this is supposed to be like Central Park, even though Central Park in real life is absolutely gigantic and massive and has a ton going on. But I digress. Talk to this guy. Apparently, this is where it all began for Castelia City. Well, that's interesting, isn't it? Now... This area right here, though, the main reason I want to be here is for the Pokemon that can be found in this area. And there are several new ones that can be found here. Also, is there rustling grass? No, okay. For some reason, I thought there was rustling grass here. There are several new Pokemon that can be got in this area, and I'm going to go over all of them as I continue my search, or well, I guess technically just begin my search for my very next team member. And all the new Pokemon that can be got here are Cottonee, Petalil, Skitty, Baniri, Pidove, Rattata, and Eevee. And I think I already said Rattata in the actual sewers, so oops, that's my bad. But yeah, I'm going to go over all of them and also fight every Audino I come across for the next little while, so give me just a moment. Skitty is a pure normal-type Pokemon that evolves into Delcatty when exposed to a Moonstone. This Pokemon, for as cute as its design is, just flat-out isn't very good. At all. Delcatty has some of the lowest base stats of any fully evolved Pokemon ever, and with its best stat being speed, that leaves almost nothing left for both defense and offense. This entire Pokemon's gimmick is being able to learn just about everything and use Assist a lot, but wasting an entire slot in your party on this idea just isn't worth it, ever. It continues to break my heart to this day that this pretty kitty is still so shitty, but yeah, it isn't good. Baniri is a pure normal-type Pokemon that evolves into Lopunny with high friendship, with the major caveat being that this Pokemon has one of the lowest base friendship stats in the entire series, making it a major pain in the ass to evolve of the highest order. There are fully evolved Lopunny that can rarely be found in rustling grass around here, and I almost want to recommend just trying to find one of those instead, as it might be slightly less frustrating to get. Once you do get your Lopunny, you're left with a pretty average Pokemon with high speed and good defenses, but honestly just a mediocre attack stat. I think most people see Lopunny as a low-end physical sweeper, but its physical attack stat just isn't impressive enough to get it there. Not until it gets its Mega Form next generation anyway. It's honestly just too tough of a sell. Yes, it gets some great moves and good type coverage, but nothing about this Pokemon has stats or perks that tell me that it's impressive enough to painstakingly train, or on a 1 in 20 encounter rate in rustling grass only. You're better off going for something else if you must have a normal type, where arguably even Dunsparce might be a better call than this one. Eevee is a pure normal type Pokemon that as of this generation can evolve into one of 7 different Pokemon. With a Fire Stone, it evolves into Flareon. With a Water Stone, it evolves into Vaporeon. With a Thunder Stone, it evolves into Jolteon. And through Friendship, it can evolve into Espeon during the day or Umbreon at night. And it can also evolve into Leafeon when leveled up near the Moss Rock and Pinwheel Forest, which is accessible in this game after you've beaten the Elite Four. Or it can evolve into Glaceon when leveled up near the Ice Rock, which is in Twist Mountain, which is also not available until after you have beaten the Elite Four. I will keep this as short and sweet as I can, even though I've got 7 different Pokemon to go over. Flareon is a physical attacker that can be flexed into a special attacker with lesser results. It has low speed and even lower physical defenses, however, so keep it away from ground and rock types. While not at its absolute worst here in Generation 5, it's still given too few options to be amazing and is often treated as one of the lesser picks amongst evolutions. But if you must have a fire type, it's still much stronger than many options in most games. Spoiler alert, all the evolutions are pretty damn good. Vaporeon is a special attacker with low speed, but much better overall defenses than Flareon and a crazy high HP stat. It has a plethora of good ice and water moves at its disposal, acid armor to make up for its worst stat, and access to some pretty interesting TMs and tutor moves. Jolteon is all special attack and speed, and it's unfortunately no less one note than most electric types out there, but what it does well, it does really, really well, ripping right through most flying and water types you'll find. The problem is it's just very, very niche and doesn't do anything interesting beyond it's a very good electric type. Espeon is like Jolteon if its speed was slightly lower, but its special attack was slightly higher, and it was given far more good moves and a better typing to work with. Espeon has always been a powerhouse, but this thing is made of glass, so you better be sweeping or putting this thing away for later. Generation 5 is also probably the weakest gen for Espeon purely due to the very few interesting TMs it can be taught, which is something that would be remedied again in the future, but for now it's not too inspiring. If you need a strong psychic type that's actually quick, this is about the best you'll get in this generation since so many psychics were made slow as molasses. Umbreon is a dark type wall of a Pokemon that's never going to be plowing through teams, but will also survive nearly everything thrown at it. My first advice is teach this thing Toxic and give it a Leftovers, and you'll never find yourself being knocked out in almost any engagement, but don't expect it to make quick work of your opponents. Umbreon is a knockdown, drag-out workhorse of a fighter through and through, so steer clear if you're looking for nothing but offense. Leafeon is a grass-type physical attacker with solid speed, making it the closest these evolutions come to a physical sweeper, even though physical defense is its best stat. Unfortunately, it falls short on special defense, not making it a universally great option in all cases, and its speed isn't quite on the level of Espeon and Jolteon, so it does fall a step short. It's mainly meant to be a better middle ground than those two, but that weak special defense really hurts it in a lot of situations, given the priorities of Ice and Fire, 2 of Grass type's premier weaknesses. Plus, like I said, you aren't getting this thing until post-game. And Glaceon is an Ice-type special attacker that is the second best overall defensive unit after Umbreon. This is a much better middle ground than Leafeon, as despite its low speed, it can handle hits from all sides, while still dishing out the punishment that Umbreon can't. This is probably the most balanced of the evolutions next to Vaporeon, but balance is not always going to be something you want, especially when the whole point of team building is finding standouts. Again, Espeon and Umbreon I think do their jobs much better than Glaceon does, but it doesn't have as harsh of downsides as something like Flareon or Leafeon. Oh my gosh! Why do I do this to myself? Why do I always make it so that I can have the rarest Pokemon I can possibly find be the one that I must track down? Why do I do this? Okay, finally, I have found it. If I knock this thing, I am going to be so upset if this is a critical hit right here. Please do not be a critical hit. Oh my gosh, it was, and it survived. That was so nerve-wracking. Okay, I should have used a quick ball to start this whole thing off. It's okay, it's fine. I'll just use Great Ball here, and my Pokeballs, and even my Timer Balls if I have to. I'm gonna get in the ball. Get in the ball. Get in the ball. First one. No! Why must you do this, Eevee? Why must you do this? I mean, I can wait. I really can. Also, you might notice that Tomoe is now level 23. I fought something like 4 Dino during that time. Tomoe did the bulk of the work on all of them, but Jack got some experience on some of those too, which is why Tomoe isn't higher. But wanted to point that out really quickly. Anyways, yes, I'm getting another Eevee on my team. I know, it's something of a meme at this point with how often I add Eevees to my team, but I am only picking one this time, and it is probably not one that everybody is going to expect. If this thing can get in the darn ball, I'm actually very glad that, wow, like, both my starter and the Eevee are female, which is so rare. It's so rare that you get that lucky. I'll just keep throwing them until it sticks. It's got bound to eventually. Because Eevee's even less of a chance than the starter, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Sweet, there we go. And that works out perfectly. And now I can give her my my nickname that I was planning on giving. Awesome. Thanks to its unusual genetic makeup, this special Pokemon conceals many different possible evolutions. Okay. Give a nickname to the caught Eevee? Yes. I am going to be naming this Eevee Kamina. And it is going to have a little bit more of a relevance later when it actually evolves. But for now, we're just going to go with Kamina. I will explain the origin of this name later, because it does have a meaning to it. I'm good with that, though, for now. So there we go. We got my third team member, and Kamina is going to be the beneficiary, obviously, of the experience share. So let's grab that really quickly. She's definitely going to need that. Also, 1 HP. It was so close, that critical hit. Oh, that was terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. Also, I just realized I am running through here completely naked. And by naked, I mean with no repel on whatsoever. That's fine. I'm just glad I was able to finally get that. The first Eevee, that was the first freaking Eevee that I encountered, by the way. It took me that long to find one. Oh, my goodness. Which, okay, 5% encounter rate, right? You know, that's really rare. It's a 1 in 20 chance. But it shouldn't have taken me almost 100 encounters to get that far. My goodness. Hi, Iris. How are you doing? Your friend, he seemed pretty mad. Did everything go okay in the sewers? So, what are you going to do now? You ran into Gym Leader Berg in the sewers, didn't you? Maybe you should go to the Pokemon gym and see how far you've come. I'm sure battling will help your Pokemon come to understand you better as a trainer, too. I like that plan a lot, Iris, and I'm definitely not going to renew that repel. Instead, I'm going to head on over to the Pokemon Center so that I can get ready for this gym battle, which we are going to be starting today, but certainly not finishing. So hang tight, and I will actually meet you guys over on Gym Street. All right, and welcome to Gym Street, everybody. Let's just head on inside. There's not really a big reason for me to dawdle around all that much. Here we go. Okay, so a little bit of a different theme this time. Here, we recognized Castelia Gym from last time, but last time you were going through like some honey or goo or whatever. This time we've got what appears to be cocoons. A little bit freaky. Also, I probably should have grabbed a freshwater. But you know, let me do that before I do anything else, because I can get my free freshwater from this guy. But the music in here is very strange. Hello, you're probably tired from wandering all over the crowded streets of Castelia City looking for T-Plasma and the gym leader. So here, I'll give you this, and we get a fresh water. I actually did hit up the vending machines just before, but I did not buy fresh water. I specifically got soda pops and lemonades just because there is no reason not to get those as opposed to super potions and potions and whatnot, because they're literally half the price. But okay, I'm going to switch Jack to the front of the party for this, and Nibbles to the back of the party, because I really don't want him involved in anything. And Tomoe is going to get a little bit of time to shine against a couple of bug types. Well, actually, I'm thinking of specifically one, which is Dwebble. That's going to be the only real Pokemon that I'm going to send Tomoe out against. And I know a few of these trainers are packing Dwebble. In fact, does this guy? Nope, this guy has a Swaddle, so this is perfect. This is who I am going to mostly be using Jack against. And by using Jack, I am mainly going to just be sticking to Strength, because it is a very powerful move. Force Palm is only going to be to try and get Paralysis going. So this is going to be a little bit of a tough gym for me, just based on the team that I have put together. I mean, honestly, not all that much different from last time, except for I had at least had a Flame Charge Blitzel and eventually Zebstrika that was getting me through the gym. So there was that, but obviously this is a little bit of a different situation, but that's okay. And actually, no, I guess it is the same day. It's a different time, but it's the same day as the last episodes, or a couple episodes ago, so I cannot go and get another massage for Jack, unfortunately. Look at all these critical hits, man. I love the scope lens. This is why we keep it. This is why we keep it, everybody. Okay, so first trainer down. Let's see. Do I want to go this way? I don't think I do. Well, we're gonna just kind of make our way through the gym and see what this does. Okay, so it just takes me that way. Got it. Good to know. All right, so both to the same level. So now we're going to want to head around this cocoon and all the way over to this one. You can see there's one down on the bottom level that we also haven't fought. We'll make our way there in due time. But you also might notice these closed ones. Well, if you step out in front of them, surprise! Yeah, there's a trainer hiding inside. Cocoon breaks open. The one that pops out is Maw. On that note, have a battle with Maw. All right. This will probably be... This might be the last battle of the episode. I don't know. We will see. Based on how long it takes. Harlequin Jack is going to start with a Combi. Yeah, see, I definitely don't want to be using fighting types on any of these, or fighting type moves on any of these Pokemon. In fact, with Combi, I'm a little scared that it might be actually holding a flying type move, but we will see. I think I mostly should be fine. Nope, just Bug Bite, which is not very effective, and that is the main reason I want to use Jack as opposed to Tomoe, because there's a lot of Swaddle around the gym that can be using Razor Leaf and things of the sort, and I don't want to deal with that. All right, level 22 for Jack. One thing I cannot do is let Jack faint under any circumstances. We got a Swadloon next. And this might actually have Razor Leaf, which is a little bit scary. I'm actually tempted to Force Palm that thing. Let me go into here, and I'm actually going to use one of my fresh waters. Actually, do I have any regular potions left? I think I used my last one. Nope, I still have one. Let's do that. Let's do that first and see what this Swadloon tries to do, because a lot of these Swadloon have Protect. Yep, and that's exactly what I was trying to preempt. All right, let me try a Force Palm here, see if I can't get a Paralysis. It's not going to be a lot of damage. Nope, didn't work. Okay, well, it was worth a shot. And there's the Bug Bite. All right, let's move on to Strength here. Ah, there's the Protect. See, this is like the one Protect spammer in Generation 5. It loves to use it, which I've never been a big fan of. I always associate Protect and Detect and all those moves the most with Swadloon, Pelipper, and Metatite. They just all love to use those moves so often. And if I use too many strengths here, I might end up getting in a little bit of trouble here towards the end of this gym. I don't think they're going to be packing any potions, so I should be fine. I probably should have been using Work Up. Oh, come on! Do you need to prolong this fight any longer? Well, this is definitely the last one of the episode at this point. Stop! Jeez, I'm really going to actually have to go and heal before I challenge the gym leader because of y'all. Cut it out. I think I'll probably just do it between episodes. Got a crit there. There's a Razor Leaf. Ow. Okay. Just need to land this quick attack, and then we should be good. Gosh dang you, Swadloon, and your crazy defenses. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it for this episode of Let's Play Pokemon Black and White 2. Thank you all so very much for watching. In the next episode... Oh, wait, hold on. Jack's evolving already? No way. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, man, I did not think that was going to happen so soon. Oh, that's huge. That's really huge. That just negates any potential weaknesses I was worried about right there, adding that Steel type. Jack has evolved into Lucario. Okay. That's awesome. Hiding makes Battle Instinct still, you know. Okay, so he's going to move out of the way. And like I said, that's going to be it for this episode. I'm going to go heal off screen, mainly just so I can get my strength power points back. And we will continue through this gym in the next one. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed this episode very, very much. And I will see you all in the next one.